Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just going to do a video about how do I change my skills in my drones. And so I did put up a pretty big video the other day about my opinion on how you should be using your drone. So if you missed that video, be sure to go back and watch that. I decided to leave this segment out of that video on purpose just because it was a pretty lengthy video, but it does have a lot of good descriptive content that you might enjoy, and it could possibly help you along your journey with Wingfighter here. So I did put up a recasting video yesterday, and I had a really good player that comes to the channel that said, hey, you might want to put in that you do have to upgrade your drones in order to get your passive skills to show. And I'll kind of go over that here in a little bit. But here on the page is my drones. I have some electrical drones up here. I am playing with my SR drones, and what's cool about this is this has just random skills in it, and maybe we can kind of go over that just a little bit. But the way you get into this and even starting to change basically your drone skills is you're going to click onto one of the drones, and when it opens, you're going to see basically this screen, and right in the middle it's going to say passive skills, and right underneath that passive skills is what this drone already has on it. And for me, guys, this is a pretty big portion of the game, because with the right skills on your drone, this is what's going to impact what you're doing. So if you're going after the Titan and the Legion boss, that's going to be a different skill set. If you're trying to make these into PvP, that's going to be a different skill set. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what you're going to do with this drone. And again, the video I put out a couple days ago kind of goes over that a little bit. And again, these are my opinions on what to do with your drones. But again, if you missed that video, definitely go back and watch that. And so I still see, especially with a lot of the new players, having a hard time figuring out what is recasting and how do I change my drone skills and how do I do this. And so when you get to this page, just to kind of jump forward here a little bit, and then we'll go backwards a little bit here. But at the bottom right-hand corner, it says Recast. And if you click that Recast, it says right at the bottom here, Modified Chips. You have to have these modified chips in order to change out your skills. And this is the first way that you're going to have to gather some of these chips in order to change those skills and find what you're looking for. Right here, you guys can see I have 115 of these chips. And how do I find these chips? And so one way is you can go to the store and go into your packs. And of course, you do have to buy these chips. And there is a weekly, there is a daily, a weekly, and then a monthly that you guys can get these. If you're not trying to spend any money on the game, you can do basically your daily missions to collect your treasure boxes. At the very end of the treasure box, you can acquire 15 of these modified chips daily. It can take a really long time trying to get these at first. And so I'll kind of go over what I mean by that. But there is another way that you can get them. If you are doing the drone event and you're buying into the drone event, some of the special rewards that you get is modified chips also. So there are several ways that you can get this. And again, if you're just playing the game and you don't want to spend any money, just make sure that you're doing at least your dailies every single day and collect your rewards that way. Okay, so going back to the actual drones, again, it's going to be very, very, very important that you know what you're trying to do with this drone. The electricals would be an energy weapon. So if you're a destroyer or if you're Thor, these would be a good additive to that side of the game in ships. And burning drones is a physical, basically, weapon. And so that would be good for Conquer And you don't have to necessarily use them this way, but just to make sure that it's kind of direct here, what these are doing. These are more of an energy weapon as far as the electrical, and then your recoils are really designed for player versus player. So again, it's very important to figure out what you're going to do with this before you start messing with what skills do I put onto this. Now, when I click into this, you guys notice that I have 5 passive skills in here already. And so a good player, Norman, pointed out that if you don't see these passive skills when you get your drone, or if you have one passive skill, you have to upgrade the drones to at least 5 stars. Those 5 stars are going to enable you to get the 5 passive skills. So if you don't see these right away, you do have to find other drones to combine with this drone set in order to basically get your passive skills. So I really appreciate Norman for pointing that out, and I am putting it in to this video. So very important also. And so again, it's important for you guys to figure out what you're going to do. So right in the middle of the screen, it says passive skill. You can click that little tiny icon right next to it, and it's going to open up basically the passive skill list. Your green is your lowest skill of the levels. Your blue is your second highest. Your purple is your third highest. And everybody wants the gold skills, because the gold skills, they're going to give you basically the best skill value and the most power and the most damage in some cases here. So, and these are very elusive. They're very tough to get. If you already have gold skills on your drones, it doesn't mean that you might have it set up right. And that's happened to me a few times. I'm really proud that I had a gold skill, and it didn't really apply to what I was trying to do with my drone. So you guys need to come through here and really read what these are doing. And again, so if you're setting up for Titan, it's going to be a different skill set. If you're setting up for player versus player, it's going to be a totally different skill set. So just, again, really concentrate on what you're trying to do with the drone before you start using this recast. So this is a pretty good example of what can happen, and a lot of players are always wondering, and some just don't know. If you look all the way to the right on my passive skill here, you can see one of the drones has a red exclamation mark. And what this is telling you guys is when Wingfighter first came out the drones, you were able to get several of the same weapons sets or skill sets onto your drone. And Wingfighter found that this was a crucial mistake, because you could monopolize on a special skill. And so they took that away. And what happens is now is when you have 2 of the same skills, your higher skill is going to be activated, but your lower skill in that same set is going to basically be deactivated. And that's what the red exclamation mark is saying, that you have 2 of the same weapons. And if you're playing the game this way, you're losing crucial points or crucial defenses possibly against player versus player by leaving this way. And so you want to change this out, especially to a skill that's helping you. And if all your skills are correct and you don't have doubles, as you can see, all the other skills don't have a red exclamation. So this is very important to keep an eye out. And you don't want to double up your skills, because, again, when you go to play, you're losing valuable points potentially by not having the right skill, especially against the Titan. And so how do we fix this, and how do we do our skills? And so, again, going back to Recast, you're going to hit that Recast button here. And there's a couple things about the recasting. Let's just say I hate all of these skills, and you notice right underneath all of the skills, it has a little lock here. And if I don't lock them all, it's saying right here, modified chips, I have 115, And for all 5 of these skills to be changed, it's only going to cost me 30 chips basically. And so what happens is let's say I like this skill and I don't want it to change when I recast. I can lock these skills, which is very important to understand, guys, because I've done this so many times. I have accidentally traded out a skill that took me forever to get back, or I never even got the skill back. So these locks are incredibly important because, again, if you have a skill that you like, you don't want it to change out, you have to lock these. But I want you guys to see what happens though. So let's say I like this skill, I don't want it to be changed out. Look at the modified chip now. Now it's going to, for 4 new skills, it's going to cost me basically 60 chips. If I need 3 new skills, it's going to cost me 90 chips. If I need 2 skills, it's going to be 120 chips. And if I need that 1 skill, it gets kind of pricey here at 150 chips because they know you're looking for that 1 skill. And this can be a pain in the neck. And also trying to find those elusive gold skills is also very time consuming and can be very difficult to do, extremely difficult. So again, if you have a gold skill and you accidentally left it unlocked, you recast and it shows the new skills and you found the yellow gold skill, you're gonna wipe out another skill that you potentially didn't mean to. So be very, very careful about recasting. And so let's do it this way too, guys, because these are electrical drones. And so if I was setting up electrical drones, what would I want to do with this? And primarily, I probably wouldn't want to use this for player versus player. I'd probably want to use it more for the Thor Titan that comes out. And so what I would do is I would look through these skills. Jamming shot. Now there is, and I pointed this out in my last video that I just put up, there are different skills for different things that you're doing. And I don't think a lot of players realize that there is specific skills just for missions. And this would be one of them because jamming shot does not necessarily work on the Titan. And this wouldn't do anything in player versus player. So this might not be a great skill to use unless you're specifically going after missions. But for me, I would probably use my drones more in the fact of using them against Titan and Legion boss. And this is just my opinion. So you guys can do whatever you want. But this would probably be a skill that I don't want. Increase bullet size of the drone. So going back to what I just said, this is really more of a mission type skill. And if I'm going after, again, the Legion boss or the Titan, this is probably one that I wouldn't want to keep in there. Increase crit damage of drone and critical damage, basically. And that's not a bad skill on any of the things that you're going to do in the game with the drone. So this wouldn't be bad for player versus player, or this wouldn't be bad for any of the game. Reduce damage caused by enemy drones. And again, if I'm using my electrical, like I said, to go after Titan, this probably wouldn't be a very good skill for me to keep, but this would be a good skill for what? Your recoils. So you just really need to figure out exactly what you're going to do with this drone before you start doing your recasting, because these recasting chips, they can be worth gold, literally, especially if you're trying to find that one elusive skill, or you're trying to change out 3 of these. I mean, these are worth a lot when it starts coming down to you trying to choose and find those skills. So very, very, very careful about how you use these, and try to save them until you actually absolutely need them, because trying to find these skills again can be very daunting and very tough in some cases. So me personally, if I was going to do this, I might keep the crit rate passive here, but just for the sake of the game, I'm going to say I don't like any of them. I mean, I've already got a skill that I can basically not even use with the red exclamation. So how do I recast? So right here at the bottom in the yellow, with the yellow button, it says recast. So I'm going to hit this recast, guys, and let's see what happens. All right, so the game kind of did this again, but I'm going to tell you a plus and a minus to what just happened here. So I hit recast. It cost me 30 modified chips to do basically 5 new skills. Now, if I'm going after the Titan and Legion boss, that might be a good one. Increased damage to all selected drones. That is not a horrible skill. Increased drone skill damage by 6%. That's not a bad skill. Increased hit rate of drone. That's not a horrible skill. So I actually got 4 decent skills that I'm really, really happy with. But look what it did. It gave me 2 of the same skills. And so I'm going to have to recast again to get rid of this other skill. But I'm going to save this. And now it goes back to, okay, I like that skill. I like this skill. I like this skill. And I like this skill. But what's going to happen now is I need to change out the red exclamation because it's basically a dead skill on this drone. And it's going to cost me 150 modified chips to do this. And as you guys can see, I don't have 150. So I'm going to have to do my daily missions or potentially go into the store and buy some of these to get rid of that skill. And so, again, you know, depending on what you're doing with the drones, depending on what you're looking for, this can be a big side of the game. It can be very challenging, can be very frustrating in a lot of cases. And generally, I would love to get rid of my green passive skills because what did I say in the beginning here, guys? Your green is the lowest of the skill. Again, it goes into blue is your second highest, purple is third, and then, of course, your gold is your best skill level that gives the best damages or protection or whatever you're going after for this. So, you know, I'm okay with the blue skills. I mean, they're not horrible. None of the skills are horrible. Setting up your skills to the actual drone is kind of what's important to maximizing how the skill works. So even if you have an N drone, an R drone, these are still good drones regardless. So don't get too caught up into that. I would be more worried about what kind of skills that I have onto those drones more than anything, because that's going to determine if you're going to get a higher score on the Titan and Legion boss, or if you're going to beat another player in basically Star Scramble and Planet Wars. So you know, don't knock the N drones, don't knock the R drones, don't knock the drones in any way, shape, or form. I think, you know, your biggest attribute is figuring out how do I set my skills up for the drone, and go do some damage and go play against a player, knowing now how to change out your skills and maybe a little bit better of what you're going after with the drones. Again, me personally, I love the burning drones. And I do like the electricals, but I don't really play a lot with the energy side, so I don't use the electricals as much. But I do love the burning drones for, you know, just me personally, more of the actual games, such as the Titan, the Legion boss, the missions, the endless, and then I love the recoils specifically for the player versus player events. So it just depends on what you guys are trying to do here. Hopefully, this just simplifies what you're doing. This isn't really tough to do, guys. It's just kind of important just to know what you're looking at. And again, do not forget to lock your favorite skills in before you do the recast, because you can lose those very easily without paying attention. So before even messing with the recast, again, make sure you know what you're going after. Make sure you know what you're trying to do with the drone. And when you have your favorite skills in there, make sure you lock those before you go after the other ones. And as I always say at the end of these videos, guys, just have fun.